Hey, what is up, you guys? Nickel Blaze here, and today I wanted to do a season review of Ju-On Origins. It just debuted on Netflix a couple days ago, or probably a week. But if you guys are a fan of, you guys may not know what Ju-On is if you're not familiar with the Japanese horror trilogy, pretty much. Ju-On is the Japanese version of The Grudge. If you ever seen the 2004 film The Grudge with the Japanese girl with white skin, really long black hair that crawls down the stairs creepily and stuff like that, this is the show. The show is supposed to be about where the director got his ideas from to make the movie. And pretty much, guys, I'm going to be totally honest about this show. There were some things in the show that I enjoyed, and there was a lot that I didn't enjoy. Number one, I get that they're trying to make it sort of a origin story and telling us how pretty much the real life hauntings in Japan is how they got the idea to make the films, but pretty much, first of all, there's no Kayoko in the film, like in the show. Like, pretty much, they never really explain who the woman is, but pretty much the Ju-On in the show is a woman who was kidnapped off the streets of Japan by a man, and she was sexually assaulted and kept in the man's attic for 9 months, and then when she was getting close to delivering the baby that he had impregnated her with, he had carved the baby out of her stomach. And the baby went missing, and for some weird reason, the woman stays in the house, and anybody that goes in there, they die. And whoever leaves that house and has seen I'm just going to say spirit, seen the spirit, if they go back to their house and they around other people, they die as well. Pretty much, it's like a virus. One person gets infected, and then it passes on to the next, and then the next, and then the next. And pretty much all throughout, like, the time jumps, you keep hearing about these people disappearing or dying and stuff like that. And they made it like an initiative to kind of make all the deaths in the show kind of small and meaningless, so that the house is never thought of as a haunted house. People know that the house is creepy, but nobody actually haven't had any evidence that, hey, this house has evil spirits in it and don't go in here, type thing. And pretty much the story revolves mostly around I think she was a reporter. This reporter who is staying in her apartment, and she had recorded some of the sounds that she was hearing in her apartment. She was hearing footsteps and like sort of a gurgling sound, and she went on like TV, and they were trying to figure out what's the sounds that she's hearing in her apartment, and pretty much they just kind of brushed it off as maybe you have like a little spirit in your house. So little did the girl know that her husband, well, her soon-to-be, her fiance, was planning on proposing to her, and that he wanted to find a house for them to move into together, and he ended up going into the haunted house. And he ended up seeing the spirit, and he ended up bringing it back to his girlfriend's apartment. So the sounds that she was hearing was the spirit pretty much messing with her boyfriend and her. And the spirit eventually kills her boyfriend, and then for some reason the spirit never went after her. It used to make it like appear in front of her or whatever, or do like certain creepy stuff to her, but it never once killed her and stuff. And pretty much she kind of forgot about it after her boyfriend's death, and she moved on for a while. And then the story moves to a high school girl who just had left her previous high school in Japan and went to another high school in Japan. And pretty much the girl has sort of a bad rep because she was like kind of looked at as easy in her last school, and she was accused of having an affair with her teacher or whatever. And sorry, guys, that's my Xbox. Hold on a second. I'll mute it. Sorry about that. But yeah, she's having an affair with her teacher and possibly having an affair with her father. And her mother pretty much believed all those rumors. She said that her daughter was a whore and stuff like that. And that it was just like that. Though that episode was kind of uncomfortable because something happens to the girl. I'm not gonna spoil it for like anybody that's watching it, but it's something that happens when she makes a group of friends in the school that it kind of confused me. I'm like, why the hell did that even occur? Like, how does this build up to explain what the hell this thing is? You know, because it's not Koyoko, it's not the Grudge that we know from the films. And anytime you see her, number one, guys, she looks nothing like the Grudge from the films. She looks like a normal Japanese woman who's wearing like sort of, it looks like a nurse uniform, and she is always holding a baby wrapped in a blanket in her hands, and she's always trying to hand it to people. And it's sort of weird. It's sort of like she's trying to tell them something, and if they don't figure it out, she kills them. And pretty much with this girl, after that situation happens in the film, she kind of, something happens to the girl that she leaves, and she ends up getting pregnant, and she names her son Toshiki or something like that, and it sounded a lot like Toshio. And at first I thought the girl from high school was Koyoko, like as a teenager, but no, she wasn't Koyoko at all. And pretty much the show goes on, and everything is just confusing, and they say, okay, the spirit wants to be buried with her baby. And the thing is, nobody knows what ever happened to the baby. When the police showed up to the house, when they found the woman's body, she was cut open, the baby was gone, she was dead. And nobody knows if the baby's alive or the baby's dead and just buried somewhere else. So as the season goes on, different characters are getting pulled in, and they're going back to talk to old characters and like to kind of figure this out. But pretty much by the last episode, you don't get any closure. You don't figure out what it is. It kind of leaves you with an unanswered question. Like, okay, quick spoiler. The girl, the girl from the beginning of the season, the reporter, she buries the tape that she used to record the footsteps and the gurgling sound that's supposed to sound like the death rattle that the Grudge uses in the film, but it's sort of like a gasping gurgle sound. And so she buries it, and she asks like out loud in the yard, she's like, is it over? And she hears a baby crying, and from behind her a random man grabs her, and then the show cuts off. So sort of left, well, me anyway, it left me kind of confused. I'm like, okay, are we gonna get another season, or is this sort of like a situation, one of those weird projects that it always leaves you wondering what happened afterwards and stuff. Like, I don't know. And all, guys, like, I had high hopes for this because I am a fan of the Ju-on films, and I am a fan of the American Grudge films, except for the 2021 that was absolutely terrible. But I expected more, and I think that's why I got so like disappointed and stuff. But it wasn't that good. If I had to rate it right now, I would give it a 3 out of 5. And 3 is kind of being generous because a lot of times I realize with certain Japanese horror films, they're all over the place. Especially if you're dealing with the Ju-on brand, like trilogy. Because if you watch like some of the Ju-on films and stuff, they're scattered too. Like you're jumping like from the past to the present to the future, and you don't know where you are half the time. You don't know what the hell's going on. And I think that's the thing that confuses a lot of people. And yeah, I 3 out of 5 is definitely my final answer for how I viewed the show as a whole. And if they do a season 2, will I watch it? Chances are, yeah, because I would want to see if they were going in a certain direction with the film and just kind of, I don't know, lost their way along writing, I guess. But yeah, guys, comment down below if you watched the show and what you thought of it. Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Yeah, comment down below and make sure you like, subscribe, and favorite, and follow me on Instagram, mindblast2311, and I'll give you a follow back. Nico Blaze signing off.